And by the way, if you watch football as closely as I do, sorry, Georgia football as closely as I do, something I still believe college football might be fixed because they were hitting, they were on every play. You had 4 guys on the ball, smashing people in the face. And then suddenly in the second half, Georgia decided not to tackle. They weren't running as fast. You could see it. I think they're paid off just to make the ball closer by the advertisers, whoever controls the game. They don't want that game to be a blowout because they want ad dollars. And we could get into them throwing the shit on the field. I never seen a play reversed. The play was over, it was done, and then the mob took over. It's just unbelievable. Which is the video game that I thought would be a really cool idea. A video game where it's basically Grand Theft Auto meets Madden football. Yeah. One of these days I got to talk to a programmer about that. I think it would be hilarious. Like imagine you're a guy. So the idea of the game is that you're playing. It's basically a football game, but the crowd gets to interact with the players. So if, like, say you're down by 7 and the guy's driving on you and he's about to score a touchdown, you could snipe him from the stands, or you could blow up the field. Basically, no, sorry, Black Ops meets Madden football. I think it would be genius. You got to choose which weapon you use. You know, again, just like a timeout. You can only use a grenade once in a while. And good morning. I hear they're coming in from Sri Lanka right now. Hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. We're already trading. You might see some stuff on the screen right now. Hopefully you do. Hopefully you hear my voice. I might go on camera, but again, I'm so good looking that I don't usually like to bring my face on the screen anymore because it's very distracting, especially to the ladies. But more importantly, listen to the tone of my voice. This is as serious as I can be. The market's rigged, my friends, and good morning again. Good morning. The market's rigged, and I've spent my entire career trying to find an advantage under the assumption that the market is rigged. My father taught me the right way. The market is rigged. The market only goes up. People always think the market is rigged and manipulated against them. It feels because you're probably buying shitty stocks that your cousin told you to buy, and they're awful. But what we do in here is we know the market's rigged, and we use the rigging right back in its face. So right now we're looking at this stock, CYTA. You might not have heard of it. Neither have I. Don't know what it is. Don't care. All I care about is blue lines, orange lines, and candlesticks. So when I woke up this morning after being, after taking a look at my DraftKings account, I am a sports gambler. We'll get back to that later. But now let's talk about stocks. But let's just also mention, if you're just getting here, always bet against the Jets. It's a great Monday. You always have money you could trade with when you bet against the Jets. All right. So SYTA, right? I kept saying CYTA. I don't know. It flows better. SYTA. I don't know what it is, but how did I find it? Scanners. You're just looking for scanners that scan the market. Again, there are no scanners that pop out winners. All scanners do are just look for volume, unusual volume, and that's all you need. An unusual volume scanner. So wham, this thing's on there. Percentage gainer list or unusual volume. And that sets the tone. When a stock has a lot of volume, it's less easily manipulated. We don't want these small cap stocks when you got 20,000 shares and some market maker could just drop the bid or move the offer and manipulate the stock. So what we look for is volume. And what we use is volume weighted average price, right? It goes hand in hand. More volume, more better. Less manipulation. So then you look for the blatant manipulation. And what does that look like? So, okay, you missed this move, right? You'll get 45 emails about how some chat room said, oh, yeah, that's their number one pick. Sure, it was. Great. Fantastic. Who cares? We come in after the fact, right? So these guys, all right, great. I'm glad they're in from 80 cents and it went to $2. Now what can we do about it? I just woke up. Okay. The blue line is today's VWAP. The orange line is yesterday's VWAP. Now, again, you see only they're combining because there really wasn't much action on this trade yesterday. So we just stick with the blue line and my favorite pattern, also known as the faux show bro. Fake out, shake out, breakout. Okay? And when you see the faux show bro around a stock that's trading around VWAP, that's your go-go moment. That's your dinner bell. That's your moment to strike. That's your moment to put this trade on. Good morning. If you're just joining us, what's up? All right. I don't have to remind you again. I know there's a lot going on, but I want to stay focused on this one trade. Let me also remind you, the market never goes down. All right. Sorry, Mike. I didn't mean my friend just told me to remind people about how the market never goes down. So again, let me just, before we go back to SYTA, let me explain. The market, my friends, never goes down, right? If anybody's been watching the market for any extended period of time, it never goes down. And if you just said to yourself, but wait a second, the market went down just the other day. Yeah, I get it. It has temporary pullbacks. Every once in a while, it has a down day, but generally the market never goes down, ever, right? Your cousin's worthless wannabe Microsoft stock that's at zero now that he told you to buy at $16, yeah, that stock goes down, but the market never goes down. So we trade the QQQ, which is to me the market. It's better than the S&P 500, certainly better than the Dow. So again, the premise in this room is that the market never goes down, and when it does, we'll focus on that. But right now, the market's not going down. We know that. We understand that. It generally goes up on Mondays as long as the sun comes up. Did the sun come up today? Is it Monday? Great. So when you see the market's down when you woke up in the morning, you laugh and you say, ha, 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 look how cute the market is trying to stay down right now. We know it's not going to stay down. So we wait for the confirmation that the market's not going to go down. And what is that confirmation? The confirmation is what I say is called the faux show bro. It's a trade that I've been trading since 1997. And now that I have embraced VWAP as my only indicator that I need, if I see a chart pattern that I know works for the last 35, 40 years, and I see it around the volume weighted average price, which is my fancy blue line that you're looking at on the screen, what are those red lines? Those red lines are the pivot points of the faux show bro. So let me explain to you right now why we're long the Qs. The market tries to fool you into thinking that it's going to go down, but we understand it never goes down. Now, again, if it would have broke down here, rallied back and rolled, we would have said, oh, maybe today's the day it was going to go down. But today's not that day because the market generally never goes down. So we wait. So what you're looking at right now is the QQQ. You see that little green candle right there? That's the fake out, and there's the shakeout. So people who use algorithms and prices, right? It's all about algos and price. So you see where it broke down from, the bottom of that candle and the tops of these candles where they're all the same price? That's algorithmic motion right there for you. You see this little double bottom where it hit and bounced, and then it broke underneath it, and then it came back? That's where the fake out happens, and then the shakeout. They want to get everybody out, convince you that it's going to go down, and then it goes back up. And the reason this trade is so awesome is that people say, oh my God, it's breaking the lows of the day. Maybe today's the day we do go down. But we don't. So the educated trader says, oh my God, I've just been fooled. I better get out of this short. The long who just sold out says, oh my God, I've just got fooled. I better get back in. So you've got a perfect storm of a reason to go up. Then you break back above these levels. So this red line is where we triggered our buy. So the fake out, shake out, and you see how it hit the same price, hit the same price, hit the same price, and then it breaks that price. That's your go-go moment. That's even before the VWAP. Now, with every trade, it's not about if it works or not. Wait a second. What do you mean? It's not about whether the trade works or not. It's about understanding risk management. You will lose money as a trader, guaranteed, because stocks tend to do things other than go up every once in a while. So when they don't cooperate, you know what you do? You get out. You sell it for very small losses because you're a disciplined trader. So you come in with a bias to the market never going down, but then you wait for that confirmation. And if that confirmation doesn't come, or worse, We break the prices where you thought we weren't going to break. You just hit the other button and you say, hey, this is the one that's not working. And you take very, very, very small losses. You can consistently lose very, very small because then you hit one that works. And then what happens? You could go 1 for 9 each day and still come out ahead. That's why the idea of the track record is bullshit. Okay? When you see the 90% win rates, that doesn't matter because they never mention the 10% of the other trades that are getting their asses kicked. All right, let's stay focused. So you got the faux show, bro. You're a buyer here. These are your stops. You define the risk. So when you say, hey, the market's never going down, and that orange line is up there. Now, what's the orange line? That's prior day VWAP. And if you're in SYTA, when it gets to 275, you want to sell some and raise your stop to 250. It's 9:25 in the morning. Most of us don't even go into the open with a trade on because the opening candle could be a doozy. But right now, this trade is cooperating. So you want to sell at 275 when it gets there, put your stop at 250, and chances are you don't want to go into the open with it unless it's above 250 and you're in on the 250 and you want to let it ride. All right, but let's stick with the Qs. So now you got your faux and your show. First thing you do, the computers like to bring stocks back to the VWAP, right? So you got there. We're sellers there because that's what algorithms do. All we do is trade algorithmically. You're a winner, you're in here, you're selling some here because now they can't take the money, and then you raise your stop to the price where you just broke out from, ensuring the fact that you can't lose now on the trade. So then comes the next phase. Over the VWAP, back to the price where it broke down from, and you're a seller of some there because that's what the algorithms do. And you see how it got there? Pulls back to the VWAP and holds the VWAP. This is what we call the test of strength. Now you're convinced I'm in a good trade here. If you weren't convinced yet, now you know you don't have to sell anymore because now you're thinking, hey, we might be going to 494.43, but you don't know. And you say to yourself, you don't know, but I'm making money. And now you put your stop right at that exact candle right under the VWAP. So now you can't lose. So now you got back to that high print and you jiggle or you shuffle at that price. Now, why weren't we going straight up? Because that's what the market does. It consolidates at new levels and then makes a new decision. And now you got to that whole number. So some of us were selling at 493. And then you raise your stop to the last place where the algorithms were making their decision. And for us, it's 492.36 because VWAP is our master. So now we're staying long the Qs unless it breaks down under 492.36 with the idea that we're about to go to 494.43. Now, again, at 928, most of us are getting out of these positions because the opening candle will make fools of us all. Because in that opening candle, when the real volume starts pouring in, the Qs could easily rip right to the 494.43 or drop 6 points. You don't know. Let's not pretend we know. We just prepare for what's going to happen. There's going to be a flurry of activity at 9:30, and you want to get out most of the time before that flurry of activity, unless you're sitting there pretty with SYTA as you're selling here at 275, laughing and giggling because you never heard of the stock before you met me. And now you're in from 209 and you're giggling your ass off and you're making the $450 that you pay to be here each month. And you made it on your first moment that you're here. So now you're saying, all right, what am I doing here? Uh-oh, it's a minute in. Sell it. Now, if it rips to $4 at the open, all right. But if you have the risk tolerance to hang in there with it, your stop's at 250 and 241 and 2.25. But it got to 275. That was your goal. You got there. You got printed, right? Now it's $3 or 250 is the next spot. 250, 225. And if anybody's in the stock, when it breaks under 225, I have your IP address and your home address. I will come find you because this stock could be at 3 cents by the end of the day. All right, 30 seconds to go before the open. I'm liquid. I'm a seller. And when the bell rings, we'll begin a whole brand new day. And if you just sold the Humana at 278.50 when I told you to sell it, congratulations. It's dropped 7 points since we sold it. Pat yourself on the back. All right. Let's keep going. You got 10, 7, 6. And by the way, nobody should be anxious to trade. Let's just watch in horror as this thing probably goes to $4 now that I sold it at 275. That's a joke. By the way, if you sold Humana down 10 points since we sold it, I know you guys just met me, but if you were with me on Friday, we all had Humana over the weekend. It's fantastic. And we sold it at 270, 250, 282. Oh, my God. Look at that. Look at that. How often do you sell stock and have it drop like that? Fantastic. All right, moving on. Don't watch Humana anymore. Let's watch this piece of shit, SYTA. Let's watch the Qs. And what I do here every day is I just scroll back. The only way you're going to make money, you got to stay focused on a couple of trades. And now you said, wow, Kenny, just pulled back to 250. Amazing. I know, because that's how the market works. All we do is trade what the market does. And I know more than most people what the market does because I've been sitting here like a loser for 30 years in this chair. I finally got a new chair last year, finally. Still had the same chair, if you could believe that, from 1999. All right, we'll revisit the Humana trade later. Let's go back to the Qs. I want to just keep focusing on the Qs and SYTA. So now the trader that said, hey, I'm digging what you're laying down here, Holmes. I'm going to stay long the Qs into the open, and I'm going to use that stop you told me about, that blue line. You're rocking now, right? All the way to where? The orange line, probably. But now that you got paid at the open because you were brave enough to hang in there, you sell here, Mortimer. Sell. Sell at the whole number. Sell at the whole number, my friend. And now the bottom of that candle and the VWAP is your out. And if you bought SYTA at 250 because you're a maniac, look at you. Stay focused on a couple of stocks. That's the only way you're going to be able to do this. And if you just held the Qs into the open, congrats, you sell because you got lucky. All right. If you're just walking in, you're late to the party. But once you join me, I start showing up earlier and earlier during earnings season. I got nowhere to be. I'm here all day. All right. Now, the QQQ player who bought this with us earlier, who sold here, and you were brave enough to hold into the open because it never broke down, you still want to sell there at the 94. You're expecting 94.41. But now you have an exact setup for the rest of your life. Right now, you're going to stay long the Qs unless it breaks to 493 because you're expecting 494.41. So why would you sell all of it? Never sell your entire position at one price, my friends, because you don't know what's going to happen. But as long as you're taking profit on some, then you could hold the rest. It makes it a lot easier to hold the jiggling and the shuffling when you've sold some into the move. Or cover if you're a shorter. But right now we're talking about long trades. And if you saw what Humana did, you got to be freaking kidding me because it went right back to the same price that we bought it as if the market said, here, we'll do you a favor. You want 267.50 again? Look where it went, my friends. 267.50 again. This is talking to the people that were trading Humana. Let's stay focused on the Qs right now. And SYTA. My Humana trader is very nice on that dip buy. By the way, what you're looking at right now, this is the only scanner you need. This is scanning the market of the top stocks that I watch. Down here, the ones that are in play over the last couple of days. Obviously, BA is in play today. I want to show you SAVE is in play today. Donald Trump stock is in play consistently. But let's stay focused right now. Long the Qs, still on, right? Because it hasn't broke the 93. You're hoping it goes to 94.40. And all you can do is wait, right? So if you bought the dip on Humana, sell, Mortimer, sell. Where's Becky? All right. Now look what SYTA wound up doing to those people. The guys, people who didn't sell. Now look where it retraced back to. The VWAP. Because the market's rigged, people. The market's rigged to the blue line and the orange line. We got the rigging. Right? Where does it retrace to? So now you got the jiggle. Here comes your jiggle, 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 shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Right? Here comes the moment of truth. If you hold the VWAP, right, and start to lift off from there, the buyers will come back at around 250 using the 237 and the bottom candle from where it just held. If it rolls here, where do you think it's going to go? It's going to test the 226 and then probably down to 206. But look where we went to. There's the blatant rigging of the market. It's not a coincidence that the stock is lifting off the blue line and orange line because that's how the market works. I have the rigging. This is the rigging. This is like walking into the casino each morning and the guy at the roulette table says, hey, buddy, I like your face. For the next 20 minutes, only 14 red's going to hit. What should I do? Well, if you're answering that question, maybe I shouldn't tell you. But you should bet on 14. Let's go back to the Qs, right? I said not 494.43. Not 33. Did it just hit it? Yes, it did. There it is, kids. You just witnessed the rigging of the market. Congratulations. It's your first 5 minutes here. I know where the stocks are going to go. Not where they're going to go tomorrow or next week or a week after. I know where they're going to be 15-minute increments. And in those 15 minutes, you can live gloriously. Or you'll be working on a glory hole at exit 58. There you go. So what do you do? Sell, Mortimer. Sell another 20% of your position. And now you raise your stops. And now you, right? So now you raise your stop to the blue. You say, all right, this guy seems to know what he's talking about. The market's up now, just like he said it would be. Wow. Because we never go down, ever, right? You've been validated. So now you erase all of this because it doesn't matter anymore, right? Because now you're going to readjust your life. And where you're readjusting, blue line. So now your new stop is 493.29. Well, now it's 30. And now you start looking at prior days VWAP at 2 days. You're over that. You're over that. Feeling pretty bullish. Feeling pretty bullish. But the hard work was blue line to orange line. And when you start joining me earlier than 9:15, you'd be in from here and selling here and making that monthly fee that you've paid to hang with me in the matter of about an hour and a half. And right now, you should still be long the Qs because they're not doing anything. So you got to sit and wait. Look at all this volume coming in. Ooh, scary. Look at all that red. What's the Qs doing? Sitting here, doing nothing but staying strong. So you stay long. And I didn't mean that to rhyme. Usually I try to rhyme everything. So where am I selling the Qs? Blue line. So if you got into the Qs, like I was saying when you first rolled in here, your target was 494.43. You got it. Sold, Mortimer. So now the less risk tolerant trader will say, all right, I'm going to sell at 494 because whole numbers are important. So they put their stop at 494 and 493.35. And then you put your feet up on the desk and you understand that the market never goes down and chances are we're going to go higher. Now, I know if you just walked in, you guys just heard me say the market never goes down. It never goes down, friends, over any extended period of time. We understand that. We stay focused on day to day. But if the market rolls over here, you change your attitude because VWAP is our master. And you think about what they're doing. So if 494, then 493.36. If 493.36 breaks, then all those levels that we saw earlier are going to get tested again because that's what the market does. But you're in the driver's seat now because you understood it probably will go to the orange line and you sold up there. Yay. And now you're just waiting. Because if I knew 100% what it was going to do, I'd be taking out a loan to buy them right now. All you could do is manage your risk and manage your trade. And if you banged out SYTA, congratulations. Now, if it goes back to 180, we'll revisit. So again, you're still long the Qs. Let me go back to SYTA, right? You couldn't hold the VWAP, and now it's tested it from underneath, right? It's tested it underneath and failed. You don't want to be in this thing. If anything, you're a shorter now, right? That's why you sell into the move, pulled back. It held it for a second, and then it broke. You're out. But now, again, if you're a long bias trader, well, I hope it doesn't happen immediately as I'm trying to explain it. But if you're a long bias trader, the levels from where it held earlier are now the most important levels that you are involved with. So let's say you're waiting to see if it pulled back to the 220. You win. Trading's all about being patient and letting the trade set up for you. All right, 494 on the Qs. My cousin Richie, who trades for me, he just sold the Qs at 494, right? So now cousin Richie has got one trade on. He's long the Qs, and he's like, oh, man, I was hoping it would go up more. But he's not going to sell the rest until it breaks down under the VWAP. 494.43 sold, 494 sold, and now we're waiting to see what happens next. So SYTA, let me show you Boeing. Boeing's in play as well, right? There's the dip in the rip, right? What did you just see here? Fake out, shake out, breakout. It's always the same pattern. See how it breaks the lows, those prior lows, then it goes back up? So if you see a stock breaking prior lows and then it comes back up, then it breaks the blue line, buy it. Now, again, I can't stay focused on more than 2 or 3 stocks. Neither can anybody else. So each morning, what I do is I give you the ones to focus on, and then the chart pattern comes into play. So you want to trade Trump, right? Because the stock keeps paying us, keeps paying us, keeps paying us. Look, it's the same thing. Breaks the lows of the days, comes right back, breaks the VWAP. Buy it. Goes up 50 cents on a $30 stock. That's $500. Most of us day traders have at least $30,000 in an account, trading actively, 1,000 shares, generally under $30. You don't have to trade 1,000 shares. You could trade 300 share lots. Just get familiar with this chart pattern because it's the way the market works. They try to shake you out, fake you out, and then break you out. And when you see it under the VWAP, faux show bro, under the VWAP, buy it because that defines the trade. It's the same trade every day. It's the same day every day. And if you stay consistent and bet against the Jets every weekend and trade VWAP, fake out, shake out, breakout trades, that's why when I say it doesn't matter if it works or not. Because when the ones that don't work, you take very, very, very small losses because your entry is awesome and your loss isn't minimal. So if you take minimal loss, minimal loss, minimal loss, and then hit one that works really well, like I said, you could go 1 for 4, 1 for 6, 1 for 8, and still manage to make a living at this. The idea of that track record is bullshit. Nobody goes 98%. There's no such thing as a 98% win rate. And even if there is, they never tell you about the 2% that's kicking their ass. Right? That's why cousin Richie's still long the Qs right now. Come on. Right? You're still long the Qs because you sold some here, you got stopped out of some there, and your last stop is the blue line. And you're in. Let's go. So now if it breaks the high today, what do you think you're looking for? I'll give you one guess. It rhymes with 495. As UVXY also is going down, that's added incentive to stay short. Stay short the UVXY, staying long the Qs. They work in opposite directions. Weakness in UVXY, generally the market gets stronger. So right now you have everything you need to know. You want to be long the freaking Qs. Why? Because we never go down, people, ever. The day we go down, you'll hear me saying, oh shit, we're going down today. UVXY will be going up, not falling off a cliff. The UVXY would be going up right now if this market really was going to take a dump. And in the next 15, 20 minutes, the whole bag wax could change. That's why we're actively trading. So right now, what are you actively doing? You're long the Qs. And when you sell into the move, right? Now you can let this thing breathe a little bit. All right, I sold some, I've taken profit, I'm down to my 30%. Cool. All right. Now you raise your stop, right? Take this red line, throw it out the window. Whoop. Now your stop's there. Now it's 493.50, or you're looking for 495. And you see how we're just chopping around here? Market's kind of finding resistance. All right, so let's go back to a couple of symbols. Now, each morning, I give you my go-to list and my constant go-to list. What's a constant go-to list? Stocks I watch every day because they cooperate. ASTS. Stocks being accumulated. We know it. I know it. You know it. Everybody knows it. So when you find the stock that's being accumulated, how do I know it's being accumulated? Because I'm telling you it's being accumulated, all right? Some things just got to let me be your hero for a second. I know it's being accumulated, right? Let's say I know hedge fund guys that are buying millions of shares every other day. How about I tell you that? But I don't need to tell you that because I trade VWAP. Never even broke down on the pre-market lows. You got a double bottom, and then you break VWAP. What more do you need to convince you to buy something? So if you're a buyer at 28.08, and then it goes back to the high of the day, what are you doing? Cha-ching. 1,000 shares, there's your $450. Ba-boom. Same stock, same trade, same day, over and over and over again. It's fantastic. Each morning there'll be another. Each morning there'll be an SYTA. The other day it was this drug one, DRUG. This one went from $2.80 to $79, which is still insane. I can't believe it. But then we go back to the watch list. It's Humana. It's Clove. If you guys want cheap ones that are working, this stock's being accumulated since $3.60. We've been in it since $2.80, right? Unbelievable. This stock Serve is getting accumulated for the last 2 months. Don't know much about it. And by the way, Q's new highs, people. Q's new highs just hit 494.75. Now, if I'm talking too quickly for some of you, this will sound like slow motion when you start to realize that every day is the same exact day. And sometimes it's the same exact stock at the same exact price. And money making becomes redundant, even monotonous, because you're legitimately doing the same thing every day. Every trade is exactly the same. Either they're pulling back, breaking back above faux show bro, or later on I'll show you some blow off tops, which is basically the opposite of the faux show bro, but stay focused right now because you're long the Qs. You've already cashed out a SYTA. Maybe you caught some of this Trump. Don't forget about SAVE, S-A-V-E. There's a reason it's on the screen. Maybe you came in. Again, I know some of you guys, this is your first moment with me. We came in with Humana, cashing out. Clove back above 420. Becky's loaded up. Cousin Richie's got the Qs. Everybody's got a nickname in here, by the way. You got to have a name. Becky's not even her real name. We just call her Becky. Now, if you say to yourself, well, what if the market starts crashing? I hope it does. I hope it does. But you just said the market never goes down. I hope the market crashes today so I could just show you how to trade. right? Because right now there's no reason not to be long the Qs. But if we break down, now you raise your stop, by the way, to the VWAP. Boop, right? Right, Cousin Richie? Now Cousin Richie says, okay, I'm waiting for 495 to sell some more, but I'll sell what I got left if it breaks 493.64 because we are slaves to the VWAP. We don't fight the VWAP. And Becky's loaded up on ASTS because she knows this is what you call a 1-minute multi-day VWAP reversal. So it's a fake out, shake out, 1-minute multi-day VWAP reversal. There is no trade that I've ever seen that works better than this almost 100% of the time, especially when his stocks are in play. Uh-oh, Cousin Richie, hold on. Sure, I will show you again. So again, let me go back to the prior trade that I was showing you on the QQQ. Now, the orange line, right? You want to know what the orange line is. The orange line is my special sauce. What I've learned by sitting there staring at screens and being a loser, not leaving my house, is that the market tends to travel between today's VWAP and what we call the multi-day VWAP. So if you get some momentum from today's VWAP, you tend to gravitate or go to, for the layman's terms, it goes there, right? Especially when you have it above. When you have it below, quite often the market will provide support at prior day VWAP, giving you another reason to believe in the bull. And again, what I'll do each day is I'll show you the differences between the trades. There's only 4 different setups. It's either blue line, orange line to go, or orange line support back above blue line and go. And again, if you just say to yourself, oh man, I thought we were going to 494. So did I. But we can't do anything about it until the market tells us to do something about it. So that's trading right there, right? It's not about where things are going to go. It's about what you're going to do when you're wrong and things start to get different. And right now, the only thing you're worried about is you're hoping, if you're long, that we don't roll over and break the 493.67. But if we do, you sell. So if you came into the chat room and you said, oh man, this guy's talking about the market never going down, this is insanity. Right now, you have to believe that we're about to turn and go back up. So when you're wrong, not if, I'm wrong every day. Each trade is independent. You trade it according to what the market is telling you to do. Right? So right now, we're still long the Qs because there's no reason to get out. Now, as we're watching the Qs, go back to some of my stocks. There's the Clove hitting new highs. There's the ASTS hitting new highs. My watch list is the watch list. My stocks are the best. Because as you watch VWAP, you understand that stocks are being accumulated. So if they're being accumulated, they work a lot better on the buy side, obviously. And in this case, look, here's the Clove. There's prior day VWAP. Let me go. So you have 2 days worth of VWAP. Aha. Right. So sometimes the 1 day, right? By the way, Q's new highs, Cousin Richie. Q's new highs. You're not selling yet. And oh. Now, wouldn't it be funny if it hits 494.99? Oh, Cousin Richie already sold some because he loves the 99. All right, you sold a couple. 99, you got there. Dave's ready to sell. Dave and Cousin Richie are my traders. Oh my God, you got the 494.99. How funny was that, right? Almost kind of like to just insult my intelligence, right? You got right there, but again, 499.99 is pretty close. If you're selling right now, I'm not gonna hate on you. I was looking for 495. That'd be funny if we don't get it. That'd be funny if that's the high print. I don't think that's going to be the high print of the day. But hey, if it is, it is. All right, let me keep going. I'll give you some of my watch list. Wait for it. We have the order in. By the way, when you're a trader, you should put your order in before the stock gets there. It's called offering out and bidding in. You want to offer out and you put a bid in. There you go, 495. Sold to you. Sold to you. Now that you sold at 495. Thank you very much, Kenny Glick. You're the best because the market never goes down. I love VWAP, right? Now that you sold, now you're down to the last 20%. This is the fuck you lot, right? I don't give a shit, right? Sorry to be so curt, right? This is the way I talk, but this is the way you trade. We're real traders in here. We use foul language, not always, but every once in a while. Don't get alarmed. Don't start clutching your pearls. Ooh. But now that you sold, now depending on your risk tolerance, right? You can now use the prior day VWAP as you're out and say la di da, I'm locking in. You see the pivot point is the VWAP down there. So again, cousin Richie, he sold here. Now he raises his stops to the 494.40 and the 493.77. And again, in the immortal words of Chaz Palminteri, now you can't lose. Or it was now you can't leave, but you get the idea. And by the way, like I said, if anybody's long SYTA, I will find you and I will end you. Right? Because the stock told you 6 times already not to be in it. Right? So now you go back and revisit. Oh, good thing I sold it up here. Yeah. Right? Now you're down here again, where you thought you wished you bought it before. So now let's say you want to buy it. And again, here's one of those moments where it doesn't matter if you win or lose, because you could identify your risk. So the guy that was waiting to buy it because it pulled back to the same level it pulled back to, they're in 207. And they're going to use that one candle right there as half their stop and the lows of the morning at 194. As long as you identify your risk, my friend, you could take any trade you want. I just like focusing on my watch list because my stocks are better than your stocks. Serve, ASTS, Clove, Summit. And you'll get these lists every single day. And then you'll start to realize, my God, it's the same day over and over again. Trump, Humana, Clove, ASTS, Serve. Why do I choose these stocks? Not about the companies. I don't care if they make robots, rockets, or condoms. It doesn't matter. Price action cooperates. That's what I look for. I'm not trading some bullshit stock that my cousin told me about 6 years ago. They're still waiting for it to come back where it's at 0083219. Yeah, cousin Richie, I'm making fun of you. Stop buying penny stocks. So right now, we're still long the Qs, correct? And if you're trading zero-date options, we could talk about that later. But right now, it's a stock, right? So now you're hoping it breaks 495. Now we can start looking at prior day VWAP, see if it gives us any. Look at that. The multi-day and the 1 minute on a 2-day time frame are combining. So that's now you're definitely going to be selling if it breaks down under that price. But right now, you're still long and you're loving it. Right, so let's go take a look at 3 days worth of data. Nothing. 4 days. And we've been making new highs lately. So let's go back and look at that yearly chart. Oh my God, a day trader looks like a yearly chart? Yeah. Because why? I want to know the highs from Friday. And that's our new target. So the highs from Friday are right there. So that's 495.57. So now you factor that in. Okay, I'm going to sell. You got 20% of this trade. So now you're looking for 495.57. Put a line up there. And you say to yourself, all right, I got a couple of hundred shares left. I'll sell 100 if it breaks the multi-day. And I promise I won't stay long if it breaks down under the blue line. So you put an offer out at 495.57. Your stops at 494.41 and 493.82. And there's nothing you could do about it. Now you got to sit and wait. Right? You've defined the risk again. All this and much, much more. By the way, I've been raging since about 7:15 this morning. I do tend to run out of steam every once in a while. I'll have to nuke my coffee. And by 12 o'clock, a lot of what we're going to do is done. And then we do it again and again and again. Every single day I'm here. I never take a day off because even when I'm sick, I'll crawl out of bed, bang out a couple of winners for you. My office is in my house. Come on, Cousin Richie. You know we're breaking 495 right here. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, 495. Give it to me. Now, again, some of the traders, if we break over 495 and start to rally, they'll raise their stop. They won't even look at the VWAP anymore because they're not going to let it go all the way back down below that. So if you start breaking new levels, you raise your stop to the levels where you just broke. Feel me? And if you're in the clove, congratulations. $4 stock, just, up at 28 cents. You're a seller here. If you're in ASTS, you got paid. As long as you sell and raise your stops, that's how you stay in this business. And if you're not in the save after all that talk, Dave, where are you? Dave better be in the save, Dave. See, my traders work for me, and if they don't put the trades on that I teach them, I fire them. So Dave was looking for a reason to buy save because it rhymes with his name, Dave and save. So what happens here? It holds the prior day VWAP, doesn't break the lows of the pre-market. If it holds the prior day VWAP and gets back to the VWAP and shuffles, buy it. It's 10 o'clock already. My God. So Dave's getting paid. Cousin Richie's getting paid. Everyone's getting paid. And if you're not married, maybe you're getting laid. Woohoo! Yo, I'll see you.